Chasing Big Joe, 1025, the game here on this Tuesday. Hope you're having an awesome day so far. He's Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe. Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier, fresh off next man up on the ones and twos. Wearing what hat do we got here?
Rugby League.
Okay.
Las Vegas of 25.
I'm not going to lie. I thought it was a Supersonics hat at first.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit, but no. Hopefully 26 is better.
Okay. All right.
Better than what?
Than last year's performances.
Oh, okay. All right. Of rugby?
Mm-hmm.
That's in March, right?
End of February. I think 28th, yeah.
And you're going?
Potentially. We'll see how my brother is on the – see if he wants to do that or not.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope you get to go.
Well, yeah.
I hope you get to go.
Head out there for a few
Hope
days.
so.
Yeah.
For the
That would
rugby.
be good.
That's going on. All right. Good to see you.
Big show today. Tim Hasselbeck going to join us at 1 o'clock, and then Ryan McGee from ESPN going to join us at 2. We'll talk some college football playoff with him. Plus, I got to ask about some race cars as well with the new championship format coming out yesterday. So
He's also a Tennessee graduate.
he sure is. I think his daughter's there too.
Might be, yeah. Something like that.
He's got a great Dale Earnhardt story too. We might have to get him to tell.
But Ryan McGee looks 27.
Yeah, always.
Right?
Yeah.
And so when I saw he had his daughter on their little show with Marty and McGee, and
Yeah.
this is my daughter. She's going to UT. And I was like, you got a daughter? You're only 27. He looks so young. So I look forward to talking. I've never spoken to him. I've never
Did
met
you
him.
not?
Never spoken
That's
to
right.
him.
We couldn't make it work at media days.
We had one time we're going to talk to him, and you're like, hey, Joe, just sit this one out. And you shut the door, man. I was like, what the hell's going on here?
I was just like, yeah, just be quiet.
All right. By the way, if you want to practice, F1 is extremely popular, right? It's extremely popular. If you like to practice F1 driving in Nashville, Tennessee, I suggest it's free to do this. Drive the airport butterfly exit around. Have you done that?
Yeah, I did it yesterday.
Holy hell.
It's fun.
For some. It's for when they drift over in your lane, it's not too much fun. But I mean, it's something, man. You have to pay attention the entire time.
I'm going to give you a piece of advice.
Yeah.
Whenever you go through that, Dr. Crane, you listen to this too. Whenever you go through that, you don't lift until you see where you're going or Jesus. Just remember that.
Don't lift.
Don't lift.
What
Just
is
stay
that?
in the gas.
Okay.
And just you keep going until you get to the finish line or you see Jesus.
But there's like 9 finish lines.
Well, that's where
so
we're
I
at.
don't know where to. I'm telling you, man, it is going through there. Red lights hold forever, and then cars drift in your lane. And then off top of that, my dumb ass likes to watch the planes land. So I'm looking at planes landing, trying to stay in my lane. It's something, man. It is. Stay off your phone going through that area over there because it'll take you to a whole other world, man. That's my little 10-cent advice for people that want to drive F1s here in
So
Nashville.
that was from like an ARCA race a few years ago, and this big wreck had happened, and this guy's leading, and so they talked to him, and they're like, "Well, what's your strategy?" And he said, "I'm just going to put my foot on the floor, and I'm not lifting until I see God or a checkered flag." And I thought that was the best line.
If you do that over there, you're flying high, man. Because there's like 13 turns you got to make.
I'm telling you though, this is where they screwed up because I almost got in a wreck yesterday going down Donaldson Pike. You want to know why I almost got in a wreck yesterday?
Watching planes land.
Watching planes land.
It's the best.
Because this little like you got all these Southwest jets,
Yeah.
and they're all lined up, and it's the coolest thing ever. And then there's this little 2-seater prop plane that's lined up with him, and I'm like, "What the hell?"
He's got it's like a little chihuahua, man. It's taking off going down that way. It is something else, man.
But
It's
how-
the most
but like
bizarre intersection.
At twilight, when you can see all the lights coming off the
Yeah.
in the boundary,
Right.
and how they're just lined up, and it's just like it's the coolest thing ever.
I would love for them. They've got the observation point off Volti Boulevard, where the Preds take off over there. But I'd love like a big overhang on the other side of the interstate, or the runway, to look down upon the planes taking off and land. It'd be so cool. They'll never do that because of concerns of security. And I understand all that. But, man, back in the day when you could go actually up to the observation point and walk down and get close was good. You can still park there, but you can't get the access you had growing up. That's something else, man.
And then I went down a rabbit hole the other day because we were talking about pilots don't like the runway that takes off towards downtown.
Right.
That Yeah, apparently that one's like never used.
Never.
It's only for
I read extreme windy conditions
yeah.
that you have to land there.
It's used for heavy planes and crosswind landings.
There you go. I should be a pilot.
With advanced instrument approaches on the 31 end.
Pretty complicated, but it's fascinating. All that.
Yeah. So it's crazy to think to like go down these rabbit holes. Welcome to, if you're listening for the first time, thank you and welcome, because we go down rabbit holes, and usually they involve traffic, runways, and yesterday presidents. So you never know what you're going to get.
Still proud of you for all that, man.
Here on the program. I think we're going to argue today on this. I'm starting to think this Harbaugh thing might have a shot.
Why?
Because I'm seeing it on Twitter, and I've talked to some people that have basically said it's not as crazy as you think. He really likes Cam Ward.
Okay.
So is it, you know, and we saw the report of he was watching film on Jackson Dart and Cam Ward, and that basically was going to help decide it. But I mean, could you imagine if they pulled that off?
I don't know why you'd want to come here with all the options available. The ultimate thing would be if they fire Tomlin, he takes the Steelers' job. If Tomlin steps down or whatever he does.
I don't think they're going to fire Tomlin, but I could see Tomlin stepping down.
I mean, it's 8 years of losing in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah. I think Rodgers is done. Did you see him? He walked out of the press conference last night. So
he got tired of them asking about his relationship with Mike Tomlin, and he took off.
Which they kept asking the same question over and over again. But
he was a shell. He had no chance. Steelers had no chance last night of winning that game. They were outmanned at every position. And by the way, DK Metcalf, you have one job. You have one job. That's to catch a pass. And him and A.J. Brown love dropping passes, man. Former teammates.
Tom Pelissero reporting that Brian Daboll will interview for the Titans head coaching job on Friday.
Just interview everyone.
Oh, you should.
Just say we're going to interview 65
I have zero
candidates.
like anybody that's like, why are they interviewing all these people? I have zero problem with that.
No, what else support guys you doing?
There's no limit.
No.
So interview everybody you can.
Yeah. Might as well. But I'm not on the Harbaugh train. I just don't think I would be floored if he comes here. Absolutely floored. Because it is an absolute rebuilding project here. You've got no defense. You got one player. You got a quarterback who's got no protection.
I mean, they're even going to interview Jonathan Gannon.
No. Yeah. Are you serious? Why?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Terrible with Arizona.
I have no idea.
Terrible. Holy. Just hire Nagy and get it over with.
So would you and Harbaugh interviewed with the Falcons, a virtual interview.
Mm-hmm.
So he has interviewed. This is what Mike Garafolo said yesterday. As we wait for John Harbaugh to finalize his interview, sources say he likes what he sees in the Titans. Cam Ward, $100 million in cap space, high picks, new stadium, and GM Mike Borgonzi. Not saying he's going to Tennessee, just that for now, I expect them to be firmly in the mix. He also says, yes, I'm aware the Giants have all that in a bag of chips as well. We've covered that here. They're attractive as well. Just making it clear that the Titans appear to be a player as well. Going to be a long week, deep breaths.
Okay. I mean, look at all your options. I get all that, but 8 jobs out there. I mean,
So would you be disappointed if they hired John Harbaugh?
Not at all. I just don't want everybody thinking they're going to hire Harbaugh. I just don't think it's happening. 8 jobs out there, and you mean to tell me John Harbaugh is a top candidate, is looking at this job?
It's all, I think to me, it's not all about it, but it's if he believes that the quarterback, that he can win with that quarterback.
Okay.
Then yeah. And that should tell you something. I mean, if John Harbaugh was a Super Bowl winning coach, and he's a damn good coach, if he looks and goes, you know what, I'm going to go Tennessee because I think Cam Ward's that guy, then Titans fans should be like, okay, what is he seeing? Now, look, we've seen some upside, but we've seen some downside too. But I think he's looking at it as if I put the right team, if Mike and I put the right team around him, then this kid can win.
All right.
And wouldn't you rather, all right, let's just say it's between the Giants and the Titans.
Okay.
Wouldn't you rather deal with this market than that market?
I'm going Giants. Give me a historic organization.
Okay.
God, give me that organization. I'm not working for Amy Adams Strunk. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it at all.
I mean, it would definitely be a big change for him because he's worked for one of the best owners in the league in Bisciotti, and now
Yeah. I really liked Atlanta. I think Atlanta's got the most talent out there.
maybe from top to bottom.
I think that defense is really good. Bijan Robinson, you got some good playmakers on there. And yeah, see what Penix could do. I mean, he might be the answer. We don't know yet. He got injured halfway through the season, so I don't know. But I think that would be a really good job for John Harbaugh. And I think you need to get out of the AFC and go to the NFC.
0388. Titans have $100 million in cap space, which makes it pretty enticing.
So you go out and blow it again on Calvin Ridley?
No,
Right? On L'Jarius Sneed, or they tried for him, but
I think I trust this guy better than the guy that did that. So
I hope so. By the way, how's Kevin Byard doing? See how
he's an all-pro.
Is he out of the league?
Yeah, he's an all-pro.
Is he out of the league yet?
Hair Metal Henry says, I say bring on John Harbaugh. It's about time we poached the Ravens.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. I just really would be shocked if he comes here with everything laid on the table. Why here? Yeah, I get Cam Ward. I get it. Is the new stadium a factor? Not bad, but I mean, who knows?
I think it would be.
But
Why wouldn't it be?
what are those demands? $20 million, my own GM.
But again, who knows if that's real or not?
My own staff. I mean,
Yeah,
handpick every. I don't.
If he likes Borgonzi, then okay.
Yeah.
I mean, here's Pelissero saying, don't count the Tennessee Titans out for John Harbaugh.
Somebody give him $100. Hey, put her name out there just to help out a little bit. Could do that.
Okay.
We could get all going on.
What is our question of the day?
All right, here's one for you. Let's get a little nostalgia for you. We need your help on this one. A friend of mine the other day sent me a text. He said, hey, man, look what I found. I found a sign-up list for us in high school for baseball tryouts, and there's your phone number. Do you remember your phone number from growing up at the house? Now, this might be a generational thing. I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Chase, when I read my phone number, 615-883-6143, it brought back so many emotions that I had to sit down. I'm not kidding you. I hadn't thought about that phone, my high school house phone number, in 35, 40 years. So do you remember your high school phone number? And when you think about your high school phone number, what comes to mind? What comes to mind? What was your number? Don't give me all the you got 7 of the 9. Give me 7 of the 9 digits. 615.
8874. Yeah. I remember it.
Yeah. Dr. Crane, you remember you're young.
It's still the same phone number.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's
same
crazy.
with my grandmother's. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm telling you, look back.
Yeah, I remember my grandparents' number too.
Do you really?
Uh-huh.
I have what was that?
0267.
Yeah, I still know mine. My grandmother's, my mom's, my dad's, my brother's, my uncle's. Like, I remember phone numbers. Everybody just remembers the contact now. Just give me the phone number.
But I'm talking the phone number at the house.
Yeah, no, I remember that too.
Not a cell phone number at the house.
I'm just saying I have a pretty good memory when it comes to phone numbers.
So you remember you've been in high school 10 years. Not even 10 years. So that's, for me, it's 40 years. So seeing that high school phone number, the phone number I had when I was in high school, it brought back a million emotions. And I'm just curious, do you remember your high school phone number? At the house. And when you think about that number, what do you think? I think about my mom. I mean, think about that phone call, that number got good calls, bad calls, disappointments, rejections, celebrations, you name it. That phone number got every single emotional whatever you could imagine from that. And I hadn't thought about that in so long. So that's our question. Do you remember your phone number from high school, and what emotions does it evoke?
Our question of the day is presented by Aries Tactical. Your safety, your skill, your Aries Tactical. First-time shooters shoot for free. Check them out at ariestactical.com. 615-737-1025 is our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHoney.com. We'll get to your question of the day answers. Plus, John Harbaugh, you in or you out with the Titans? We'll discuss that and much more ahead. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game.
don't count out the Tennessee Titans. It's a great place to live. They got a new stadium opening. Cam Ward played better and better down the stretch, and they got a ton of resources in terms of cap space to rebuild that roster. Again, several different options potentially on the table. Nothing is down the line at this point, but the rest of the NFL head coaching landscape will begin to evolve next week when the interview rules change for those guys who currently have jobs in the NFL. I would anticipate John Harbaugh's process really ramps up here over these next several days and into this weekend.
That was Tom Pelissero on the NFL Network talking about John Harbaugh. Could he land with the Tennessee Titans? 615-737-1025. I'm still in the I'll believe it when I see it category, but the more I hear that he's intrigued, it's like, okay, that's interesting. You know, could that mean that more of these candidates are like, yeah, this is a great job?
He's the Jimmy Sexton of himself.
Yeah.
I'm getting interviewed. You better hear. Tennessee wants me, and so does Miami. I really want this Giants job. What are you going to pay me?
I don't know if he wants Miami.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Like he could use that as leverage. Yeah, I'll use it. I just don't trust him anymore, man. I just don't trust these coaches anymore. And so if you want to come to Tennessee, then come to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Let's go. Get here and start working and go.
It'd be great if like they look at it as this weekend he calls Berganza and go, hey, I'm in if you're in. And like if that happens, there's no, well, we'll let us talk about it and we'll get back to you.
Right.
You do it.
What does he do to Nagy then? Hey, Matt, you guys sit real quick second.
Let's walk out here
Right.
by the dumpster.
Oh, man.
We'll leave you here.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, so, yeah, I mean, look, he's the hottest coach out there, and there are 8 other jobs, 8 total right now to look at, and it'd be something. It really
Does that become 9? I think it becomes 9. I think Tomlin steps away.
I think the Steelers are scared of change.
They are, but I think it's him. I think he looks at this of, do I really want to go through trying to find another quarterback? Because that's what maybe you try to talk Rodgers into another year, but does he really need to play another year? I say no. And then you're basically in a rebuild. Do you want to do that? Or do you step away for a year or two, go do TV? Every network will be after you. Go do that. And then if you want to come back and when, if the right job's there, then you can.
I think he stays. No coach wants to go out that way. What are we going to remember about Mike Tomlin if he leaves the Steelers? What are you going to remember?
8 straight playoff losses.
You're not going to remember,
or 7 or whatever it is.
You're not going to remember 2 Super Bowl appearances, winning one of them. You're not going to remember that. You remember how it ended. So I think he comes back and says, I want to redo this again. I would want another opportunity to go out there and write my own ending, not have it written for me as it is right now. And so I was like, well, Art Smith's out now after that performance last night. Look, there were some great plays called, right? I was watching that other cast. I mean, there were receivers getting Rodgers had no time.
Yeah, I don't
no time.
I don't
Guys
think that was all
dropping
on
passes.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think that was all on Art Smith. Dylan says this market is far better than the Giants as far as media, and this division is far easier than the Giants division.
Well, you got Houston and
I don't know. You had 2 teams get in from
one's
the
still
South,
going,
and 1 team get in from the NFC East. So
yeah, didn't the culture? I mean, that's not a bad team. That's not a bad franchise.
I think this division got better this year.
Absolutely did.
I don't know. On our question of the day, do you remember your high school phone number? 2438 says, yep, remember all the voicemails from school that were deleted off that number. Landline, baby.
Yes.
Josh, I'm not going to read everybody's number when they give it out.
That's fine.
But man, Big Joe, this question is deep. Thank you. Lots of memories. Mike in Lebanon, my high school phone number is still being used by my mom, which she has had since 1981.
That is awesome. Keep it forever, baby.
Hair Metal Henry, I think I know this number actually, gives a number and says, if you know, you know.
I don't know.
615-259-2222.
Yeah, you do. Time and temp, baby.
Is that what it is?
Might still be working right now.
0248, just south of Omaha on the Iowa side, the long twisted cord. Phil says, I do. My mom is close childhood friends with John Goodman. He called the house phone when I was 8 asking for my mom. I had no clue who it was and just handed the phone off.
What's he calling your mom for?
That's awesome. They were friends.
Hey, what are you up to?
Chris says, remember when my parents got a deal from Ma Bell and got 3 new touch-tone phones?
Nice. Yeah. You know what's crazy about all this? There was no caller ID.
No.
You might have had caller ID when you grew up.
I
didn't.
remember. So here's the thing.
We didn't.
I'm of the age where I remember when a lot of this stuff kind of started.
Yeah.
So I remember when caller ID came out and all it had was the number. It didn't have a name or anything. I remember cordless phones were just kind of coming on the scene when I was little. Because we had in the kitchen the landline with the long cord. I remember, I mean, answering machines had been out.
Oh, they've been around forever.
But like we're advancing. They would like tell you the number. And,
well, you could call a number and then it would play your messages back for
Yeah.
you. That happened when I was in high school, but you had to answer the phone.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how many times you look at your phone during the day and I'm not talking to that guy.
Yep.
We do it all the time, man. Back then you had no choice but to answer.
I'm 63 and still remember my phone number from back then because I still have the same number. I kept it when my parents passed away.
Oh, that's
Yeah, that's
excellent. Well done.
Patrick says, I've not thought about my phone number from high school in 30 years. I would love to call that number one more time and have my dad answer. Thanks for the walk down memory lane.
That's it. That's the whole point of all this.
80 or Chris in Spring Hill says, my high school phone number in North Carolina was 362-7448. It took a prank call at 3 a.m. one summer night for someone to let us know that it spelled 362 S word.
Oh, nice.
My dad hung up really mad, of course. He couldn't go back to sleep afterwards, and he was lying in bed until dawn, wondering if the caller was right. That's awesome. Very, very good. 615-737-1025. Byron, 7 siblings, rotary on the wall in the hall. You got 6 minutes to talk on it.
Oh, why? 6 minutes it was a lifetime back then.
My dad used to tell me about like when he was younger, they had party lines still.
Yeah, I guess you'd call a number, they put you on hold, and more.
Well, but it was like your neighbor would pick up and you'd hear your neighbor.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
they still have those commercials at midnight. You're flipping around.
Yeah.
It's like, lonely, call this number. I'm like, what if I just want to call just to talk? Hey, this is Joe. I just want to talk, right?
Can you imagine though, like back in the day of having the switchboard where like they're literally switching, lines so you could talk to people?
That'd be fascinating to do that. There's no way it gets done now. There's no way.
No, now it's all
plug it in, do all that other stuff like that.
That's so funny. 615-737-1025. We'll get to your calls and more of your texts. Coming up next, Chasing Big Joe, 1025 The Game. She's a Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Tuesday. So here's what we got according to Diana Rossini and Albert Breer. The Titans today are interviewing Jeff Hafley and Jesse Minter. Tomorrow will be Mike McDaniel. Friday, Brian Daboll. Saturday, Mike McCarthy. Sunday, Jonathan Gannon and Robert Saleh. And then Breer adds that Arthur Smith would be tomorrow as well.
Fine list of candidates.
Yep.
Who's already interviewed? Do you have that?
Yes. hang on.
Nagy's been one of those.
Nagy, like Mike McCoy. Let's see. They've had 7 candidates that they have talked to. They have talked to Lou Anarumo, Steve Spagnuolo, Matt Nagy, Vance Joseph, Kevin Stefanski, Mike McCoy, and Jason Garrett.
Okay.
And Jason Garrett, Mike McCoy, Kevin Stefanski were all in person. The rest were virtual.
All right.
So,
yeah, just interview them all. Bring them all in. Talk to everybody. See what you got. And then
I got no problem. Like, I even think Jason Garrett has no chance in hell of getting this job.
Right.
But I think it was a smart move. Talk to a guy that's been sitting in a TV studio for a few years. Like, hey, what do you see from afar?
Borgon's got nothing else going on over there.
They give you no limit.
It's not
so
like he's not playing Candy Crush all day long. Just interview all these people.
You've you've pretty much, I think, with either interviews you've done or about to do, you've satisfied the Rooney Rule.
I am shocked though that not one of these jobs has been filled yet. I'm shocked that not one. Like somebody like Miami's like, we really like Stefanski. We're not letting him leave.
They just hired a GM.
Grab him.
I would say probably tomorrow or Thursday you'll get the first one. I'm not too shocked by this because the NFL is basically like, don't you dare do anything on a playoff weekend.
Yeah.
So my guess is you'll get some news, sometime in the middle portion of this
like
week.
Arizona. What do you got to lose? Go ahead and grab somebody right now.
Who wants that job? It's one of 32. I get it. But like that's
somebody want that job. I mean, but you're not going to
get
win
Walt
there.
to apply for that job,
right? He'd do just as good as everybody else that's been out there. Even Gene Stallings couldn't win there back in the 80s. I mean,
Gene Stallings coached there.
Yeah,
I didn't
St.
know
Louis / Phoenix Cardinals. Then they flipped their name to the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, I could get it done. Even Wisenhunt took him to the Super Bowl, but Wisenhunt had a losing record. By the way, I saw Paul Koharski's tweet today. 12 years ago today, Ken Wisenhunt named head coach of your Tennessee Titans.
No, you read that wrong.
Did I?
Tommy Smith 12 years ago said, meet your new head coach.
Oh, right. Yeah. So 12 years ago, I remember when Wisenhunt got hired, we're like, former Vandy guy. He got the Cardinals with the Super Bowl, and he was an OC in San Diego. That's a great hire. He was awful. Just awful.
So our good friend Ricky sent us a tweet from Legarius Sneed, and it says, see y'all in July. Peace. Deleting all media. The comment.
Oh, no. Oh, no. And let me add to this real quick. Social media is not an airport. You don't have to announce your departure.
Right. No,
nobody cares.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, great.
Just go.
Just leave.
Just get out of town. Nobody cares. Can we read the comments? Are they PG?
One was, we'll take you back in Kansas City. The other was definitely a two-tone till I die of like, well, we can't wait to get you back. You're going to be great. The other one was implying that the reason he was not going to be on social media is because they don't allow that where he's going.
Yes.
So
another one. And wasn't Borgonzi responsible for shipping him here or part of the deal?
Oh yeah,
I remember correctly.
I think he was.
Oh,
I don't know. Al says, what is going on today? Just heard a party phone lines mentioned, and Chase must be drinking on the air, talking about Harbaugh coming here. What happened to my favorite daily family show?
Hop on board. Why are you late, man? We started noon.
Let's go to the phones, driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com. Tim wants to answer our question of the day. Tim, what's up?
Hey, guys, I would have typed and texted, but it would take too long. In 1967, my parents built a house in Williamson County in Fairview and moved to Nashville. We had the same phone number until last year.
Oh,
We
wow.
lived in the same house. We had the same phone number for 1967 to 2025.
Holy
After
cow.
my parents both died, so yeah, and I still remember it. I mean, I could call it. Yeah.
What was the phone? What was one of the greatest phone calls you ever got on that line, Tim?
I guess the girl told me she'd go out with me.
There you go, buddy. Was that a good date?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, any date's a good date.
All right, man.
It's better than sitting at home and watching more TV channels.
I don't know about that, but we'll see. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it. I remember too when you were able to do like, call somebody and then do like three-way calling and how big of a deal that was. I know you're going to make a joke.
I'm not. You look at me. I didn't make a joke. No,
you're thinking about it.
No, not at all. And then call waiting. You click the
call waiting. Yeah.
Click the thing. Go over there. So you're part of you're like half the portal. You're like on one side and the other side.
So
like Stargate.
I shouldn't tell this story. One time in high school, I think I was like a freshman. I wanted to ask this girl out. And so
hey, my name's Chase.
I was scared. So my buddy's like, well, hey, I'll get on the phone with you and you just call her and everything. I'm like, okay. And so I call her and her mom answers like, yeah, I'll go get her. Well, he and I are talking, not thinking that, we're stupid.
Yeah.
And she says no and all this, like I can or whatever. And then it's like, yeah, I heard you and your friend talk.
Oh no.
I was like,
that's one of the reasons my son is named JJ.
Why?
Because when you would call, hey, is John there? Big John, Little John. Is Tom, Big Tom, Little Tom. I'm like, nope, he's going to get his own name, his own world. So JJ is Joe Jr.
Yeah.
So that's why he's called that, because I don't want to be
I'm Chase because my dad didn't want me to be Little Charlie or Charlie Jr., even though I was the fourth.
Yes. That's exactly it. Yeah. Is he in? Who's in? Well, he's not in. Which one do you want? Big one, little one. So all that nonsense. But I'm telling you, man, seeing the phone number you hadn't thought about in 35 years just did something to me. It really did something, because that phone, like I was telling Tim, like all the phone calls, all the good calls, the bad calls, the disappointments, the celebration, the experiences of that phone number all came through that line, man. And then you call a friend, you had to talk to his parents.
Yeah.
You're like, oh God. Yeah. Hey, is Nick there? Yeah. Hold on one second. How you been doing? You doing all right? And you're like, oh God. Yeah, man, things are good. Nick there?
Thomas in Nashville. Chase may be too young to remember, but Joe, do you or any of the listeners remember the old chat line in Nashville? It was in the mid to late 90s. When you called it would say press 1 for uptown, press 2 for downtown.
No.
It was full of kids like me trolling people and prank calling, but it was free and fun. All my friends would call in on three-way to see if we could hit the same rooms.
Oh my gosh, no! I just remember those. It was like $3.95, like for 5 minutes, and then it would just add up and add up. I mean, it was expensive.
See, everybody added. So I remember watching wrestling, like there was the WWF hotline and the WCW hotline. And I still remember WCW. Ricky, if you're listening, I know you remember this. 1-900-909-9900.
How much?
It was like $5 a minute. Needless to say, I did that one time.
Oh, right. Chase, get in here real quick.
What is this, $125?
Oh, God.
And then when my mom found out it was wrestling, she was a little less upset because she thought it was something else.
Yeah, I'd be proud of you. Well done.
But we did get in trouble at her work one time because me and my buddy prank called Jenny Craig and they called back.
Oh my gosh. How's Jenny doing?
I don't know, actually. Jim, on our question of the day. Jim, what's up?
Hey, the company I used to work at, you had a 4-digit number at your desk. So, Linda was 1383, Bill was 1685. Well, mine was 1866. Eventually, 866 became a toll-free suffix. People would forget to dial 9 to get an outside line, so they'd be calling me all the time. Is this Cole's Plumbing? Or else, hey, so what are you wearing now? I'd be like, you asshole. What?
Whoa.
Oh, guys, take care.
All right, Jim. Oh, Jimbo. Yeah. Do all the
yeah.
Jim, I get it. I would always be those things as well, man. Is this Cole Plumbing? It is. Is this the hairdresser? It is. I'd be all those things. But the thing now is you could prank call back in the day, right? You could block star 70, whatever it was, and call. Now you can't. I mean, I prank called all the time. We prank called constantly.
Yeah.
I would call Subways and say, what do you got on the menu? They'd be like, we got this, that. And I would say, do you have nuclear subs? Then I would sound the alarm. Like, we're going down. We're going down. I mean, that's
did you ever do the classic as your refrigerator running?
Always.
Well, you better catch it.
Yeah. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? Right? It's like, yeah, you better let him out. He's suffocating. So stupid. We did it all the time, man.
Oh, those were the days.
Those were the days. Also, if anybody wants to hire a defensive back, Nick Frazier's your guy. His side shuttle and backwards backpedaling is pretty good.
Eldrill's pretty solid.
You got
like
that.
sub 6.
Dang you, Jim. You made Nick Frazier pull a calf muscle.
It's all right. It's all good. Do you, Dave in Kentucky, do you guys remember calling 1010-2201, then the number you were calling to get a cheaper rate?
Yes.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah. Because I remember.
Yes.
Here's the funny thing. When I was younger, like Sunday night is when you talk to family out of state. Because
was that the MCI family and friends?
Because long distance was free after like 6 o'clock on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
So my mom and I would try and call my grandparents, and it would get a busy signal because my grandfather was on the phone with his brother and sister from Texas.
Oh man.
And they talked for hours.
Do the number again.
1010-2201.
Yes. That's something else I haven't thought about in decades. Decades on that.
Yep. It's just crazy how it's so easy now.
Right.
You know, you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Pick it up and call. Yeah.
615-737-1025. I remember when we only had one area code.
Yeah.
It was 615. And then remember they added 931 on the outskirts the out of the metro.
Yep. And then if they added
629. So that's why we now have to say 615-737-1025 because there's 629.
And 270 was Southern Kentucky, or is that most of Kentucky?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, because Clarksville at one time I think was 615.
I believe so.
And then it became 931.
Yeah.
But I remember when that happened.
That's
late 90s.
Well, most Memphis. Now
901.
901. What's not 423? Knoxville.
865.
865. 423 Chattanooga?
Yes.
Okay.
That sounds right. Wow. Walk down memory lane. Well, more coming on this and much more. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game.
All right, welcome back to the Chase and Big Joe show here on 102.5. The Game brought to you by the Omni Nashville Hotel. 1 o'clock, our good friend Tim Hasselbeck will join us. We'll get into all things National Football League, games, coaches, what's happening, what's going on. Titans have planned on interviewing every coach available in America over the next 7 days to bring somebody in here. That's what they're going to do to get the head coaching search going on. Our question of the day is, do you remember your high school phone number at the house growing up? We got a lot of reaction on that too. Continue to let us know on the hotline, on the text line, brought to you by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. When you call in, please don't cuss like some certain caller did in Mount Juliet a few moments ago to do that. Proud of you, Dr. Crane.
Thank you. I thought I sprained my MCL, but we're good to go.
You got up and went and hit the dump button in a record time, so that was well done.
Because I knew it, I had to get it, and then my headphones got caught in the chair. I was like, oh, this is just what I need right now. So.
Well, it's one of the few times Chase and I make eye contact in the studio when he said something, and we looked at each other like, oh, no.
It's almost like
usually
you guys said I
we
do
never look at
I'm never here, right? I'm always doing the show someplace else. But no, it was fun. So all the reactions great. Let us know, 615-737-1025, if you remember your high school phone number as well.
So we're kind of in that purgatory when it comes to the Titans of like, all right, well, we can talk about who they're talking to, but it's like it doesn't really matter until they hire somebody.
Right. Yeah.
Then that's when I feel like, okay, it gets fun because you got to build the staff. Who's going to be on the staff? And I feel like with this coaching cycle, you're going to have some names on the staff. Whether it's Nagy or Harbaugh or whoever is the head coach, you're going to have some names that show up on the staff.
Yeah.
Who stays? Then you start going through the roster. All right, who are you going to get rid of? L'Jarius Sneed, here or no? I think he's gone. I think he should be gone. Just move on.
Right.
You have to.
But there's a few things we agree on. Like, it's not going to be a first-time head coach, right? There's no way.
I'd be really surprised.
Yeah.
At this point, I would be really surprised.
You've already done that. Your last two coaches were that way with Vrabel and with Callahan. Your last or that.
Well, only twice. I don't know about the Oilers, but with the Titans, Wisenhunt and Malarkey are the only times you've had somebody with head coaching experience.
True. Yeah.
I mean, Fisher was a first time.
Mm-hmm.
Munchak was a first time. And then, as you mentioned, Vrabel and Callahan. So.
Yeah, and that's it. So I think we're not going to go down that avenue again of not having that. And I think you want a head coach.
Yeah.
Right? You want a head. I'm not going to call the play. I mean, you want a leader, a CEO of the football team. And that is where they messed up with Callahan, who had no clue what he was doing. Just an awful, awful head. Now, he might be a great – we don't know if he's a coordinator or not.
I have no idea.
Because he's never called plays until this year.
Here's the thing.
Last year, whatever.
If he was a great coordinator, I feel like he would interview at places more than just Tampa Bay.
Right.
But Tampa Bay is the only one that I have seen that he's interviewed for.
Maybe he goes back home to Cincinnati. He's getting paid till 28, so there's no rush on him.
He doesn't have to be in a rush.
But that's the thing is I want them to hire a head coach and then delegate coordinators and on and on and on. I'm tired of that. It's proven not to work here. So, we did the list, like 15 to 32 head coaches call the plays, or 14. We went down a whole list that one day. So I prefer them, Amy, if you're listening, I know you are, to hire just a head coach to run everything.
The Chargers have fired Greg Roman after 2 seasons as offensive coordinator, which is interesting. He has been an OC for both Harbaughs, both with John in Baltimore and then Jim in Los Angeles. So
forever.
Interesting there.
Forever. He's been with them forever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's the whole thing about, talk about Harbaugh coming here and then other candidates. And now, so let me ask you this. Are you disappointed if Harbaugh doesn't get the job? You're a big Titans fan. Are you disappointed?
Yes, because I think he's the best candidate available, but also no, because I like some coaches that are available this cycle. And so I feel like that with Borgonzi leading the way, they're going to get a good coach. So, would Harbaugh be great because that's the name? Again, it all goes back to fit. Like maybe he's not the right fit here. Maybe he is. Maybe they hire Robert Saleh and Saleh turns out to be really, really good the second time around. It's all about fit. Like, think off the top of your head, coaches that weren't great the first time, but good the second time.
One comes to mind.
Bill Belichick.
Yep.
There's another one that comes to mind, and he actually had a couple of cracks at it to get it right. Pete Carroll.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, Pete was with, what was it, the Patriots and the Jets,
Mm-hmm.
and then USC, and then
Seattle,
and then the Raiders.
Don Shula.
Don Shula was with the Colts, and then the Dolphins.
Correct. I mean, it happens.
John
learn.
Fox.
He was good both. Carolina and the Broncos.
He did get Carolina and Chicago. So Chicago too.
Yeah, but he get into the Super Bowl. He got he got Carolina and Denver to the Super Bowl.
Yep. Who got Carolina to the Super Bowl the first time when they were like their second or third year in? Was that what's his name that had taken over for Walsh in San Francisco?
Well, it wasn't Seifert.
George Seifert, yeah.
Who was it? John Fox
No.
in 03?
03, I think, yes, but no, I'm talking before that. Didn't they go to the
No, it was 03 and 15.
Okay, so NFC Championship. They went to the NFC Championship.
Yes,
game
in 95, 96.
with Kerry
96.
Collins.
Yes.
That was George Seifert, right?
I think that was Dom Capers.
Oh, was it?
I
Okay.
think. You might want to double check the old JoJo.
But Seifert was the first coach, right?
He was, but I don't remember when. Because he won his 49ers Super Bowl in 94. George Seifert did.
Let's see. 95. I don't know. The Panthers were put into the NFC West. Former Pittsburgh defensive coordinator. Oh, it was Dom Capers. You're right.
Okay. And they got
So where was Seifert? Who am I thinking?
Seifert came after that. Seifert was
Carolina?
really bad. Yeah, he brought Reggie White in too. Reggie White's last team was the
you're right.
Panthers. Yeah.
Okay.
And was it John Fox in an 03?
Yeah, 02.
02.
He took over. Yeah, and then
03, yeah.
with remember the quarterback?
Was it Jake Delhomme?
It was Jake Delhomme.
They should have won that Super Bowl over the Patriots. And then Brady did magic, and then Adam Vinatieri came down and kicked the field goal and won the game for him. in the NRG Houston Stadium. That's also, remember that Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, the wardrobe malfunction.
That's right.
Real quick, Doug wants to weigh in on the Titans head coaching search. Doug, what's up?
Hey guys, I kind of go Charlie Brown on all this Titans coaching list. But until it's over, this is one thing I think that is a conversation that can be had. The players that are there now, who do you think the next regime won't take and who's going to be there? It's going to be a complete makeover. So that's not going to help much as you come in, seeing what you see now versus who's going to be gone later.
Well, that's a good point. There's some contracts that are expiring. There's some guys you can't get rid of, but overall, man, you could pretty much do what you want to, but you got to spend that money wisely.
But would you say 60% of this team will not be wearing the blue and white?
It's a lot of turnover. That's 30-something.
I think Doug is there. There's not many that they'd want to keep, but you can probably count them on two hands.
So the keeping hand is smaller than the sending hand.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Thanks, Doug.
Give me your list of keeps.
Real quick. I would say Jeff Simmons, Cam Ward, Skoronski, Latham for now, Io Manor, DK. That's 6.
I wouldn't mind bringing Chig back.
Chig has made a case. Pollard. Who's the Kevin Winston? Basically anybody from this year's draft.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I'm sure do you keep Sweat?
It's a whole segment within itself.
Is Sweat one?
You gotta give him one more shot. Maybe Big Jeff can motivate him more.
Yeah. That's really about it.
Yep. That's a good question. That's a whole segment. We'll get to that later on.
We'll do that after Tim. Tim Hasselbeck joins us next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. Hour number 2, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Tuesday. Hope you're having a great day so far. Let's say hello to Tim Hasselbeck, ESPN NFL analyst and also Innsworth head football coach. Timmy, what's up? How you doing?
What's up? I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
We are fantastic. Last week, we kind of felt that John Harbaugh would be back with the Ravens. Now he is a free agent. We'll see about Mike Tomlin and what happens there. But how much of a chance do you give the Titans to landing John Harbaugh?
I think they could be in the mix. It's interesting to see how many teams are interested in Harbaugh. Probably why I said, what I said about the expectation that he would be back. I think that, from some of the information that I got, I think that, Steve Bisciotti, who's the, owner of the Ravens, I think that what he realized is like, he's got one of the best coaches in football. He knows that, but it almost just felt like that, going 14-2, but that not mattering, because it was almost like you just were waiting to get to the postseason to see what would happen. That there was a weight to that and a heaviness to that was a lot to carry. So, I think ultimately he makes the move knowing that, he's letting go one of the best coaches in football, but also knowing like he kind of made his business in the HR world and probably has got a good deal of confidence of feeling like, this is my background. This is what I do, is identify the right people to hire. And so now he gets to do that with his next football coach. So, that's what I would say kind of pertaining to that situation, and then how it, aligns for, the Titans. I think it is an attractive job. They're all attractive jobs, but I think that, I don't think it's an environment where if he's offered the Giants job and the Titans job, money's the same, whatever. I don't think it's like, I need to go be in New York. I don't think he'd feel that way.
Well, so in that sense, and depending on some of the reports that are out there, he's watching film on Jackson Dart and Cam Ward. If it's strictly down to the quarterback, I mean, does one really outshine the other, based on the sample size we have?
No, I don't think one outshines the other. And, in terms of, him watching those guys, look, he'll watch them, but, they're going to be, I think more than watching them, I think is going to be, the character evaluation that he gets, on them, from the people that he knows in the business that had been around and worked with either guy. So, he's not going to turn it on and be like, oh, look at this run against Philadelphia. Oh, look at this, pass against Indianapolis. Like, that's where I'm going. I don't think that's what it would be with him. Both guys are physically capable. I think the bigger one is, you're attaching your wagon, to that rookie contract and that rookie player, which is attractive, assuming he's the right guy.
Talking to Tim Hasselbeck on the Chasing Big Joe show. Tim, when these guys come in and do interviews and, they're talking to the GMs and everything, trying to piece things together, you look at the Titans, for example, right? They went down the avenue of hiring a first-time play caller in Callahan who's never called plays before. Do they go down that avenue again if somebody comes in and blows them away, knowing what they just experienced the last 2 years? Or do you just let it all play out? Because I would not go down that road again.
Right. Well, I mean, but here's the thing about it. Like, I don't know how people know this. Like, John Harbaugh got hired. He'd never called plays before. Like, John Harbaugh was a special teams coordinator who had spent some time, coaching the secondary in the NFL. So, I do think, and I think I've talked to you guys about this before, and John Fox was really the guy that really opened my eyes to it. Was a very successful defensive coordinator. Then, was I don't know how many guys have ever done this, but he's been a head coach in the NFL and took two different organizations to the Super Bowl as a head coach, once in Carolina and then once in Denver. And he said to me, he's like, the skills that you need to be a good play caller are not the skills that you need to be a good head coach. To be a good coordinator, you sit in a dark room and you just, come up with a game plan, for your side of the ball, to go against your opponent. And then you become a head coach and you don't do any of that. In fact, you don't have time to do that type of stuff. So I think it's more, Joe, about just the structure and the people that are going to come along with you and what they are going to do. So, I'm pretty sure that Matt Nagy, I think we talked about this last week maybe. I think Matt Nagy already expressed his desire to not be the play caller if he became the head coach again. So I think it's just more about like, okay, well, who is going to do it and how are we going to feel about it? And, we could lose that guy if he has success to becoming a coordinator somewhere else, but hopefully, we can replace him with somebody just as good.
Oh, I agree 100%. I still think Nagy's going to be the fit here. But what if Andy Reid goes to him and says, you know what, I got about maybe a year or two, and I want to hand it over to you. If that happens to Matt Nagy, I mean, obviously the choice will be made, right? I mean, he's going to stay where he's got Mahomes, he's comfortable, and he's turned over to him. But who knows if Andy Reid's going to retire next year or the next 10?
Yeah, and really with the structure of the NFL and the Rooney Rule and things like that, you can't do that. So, you're not, that's not something that Kansas City is even able to do.
Right.
If Andy resigns, they've got to retires, whatever.
Let me interrupt you. Mike Tomlin is stepping down after 19 seasons with the Steelers. Just breaking news now on your network.
Wow.
So there you go. That was my hunch, man. It felt.
And is that Schefter or
it's everybody. It's on SportsCenter right now. Mike Tomlin stepping down, but Shefty. I've seen Rossini has it with the Athletic. It's everywhere.
And so the question would be: does he still want to coach? Is he gonna get right back into coaching?
What would you do if you were him?
Well, I think because he's been such an amazing soundbite, what's going to happen is that every network is going to offer him something attractive. And not that he's going to be motivated by money, but every network is going to offer him an opportunity to make millions of dollars doing TV, which means he's going to be able to take a breath, but still be visible where people don't forget about him. No different than, what Sean Payton did. Sean Payton, took a job in TV. No one forgot about him. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. And then he goes back, and finds himself in a great situation in Denver, probably refreshed. So, what would I guess? My guess is that he would talk to people. But my guess is that he takes a TV job and then ultimately, doesn't lose his visibility if he wants to get back in it in a year or two.
So there's two things I have on this. One, to your point, I think yes on TV, and this is different than Cowher. Like Cowher everybody thought Bill Cowher was going to come back and he never did. I think Tomlin could do TV for a couple of years and then actually come back. Why do you think, though, you look at the records of Harbaugh and Tomlin, and I think it's pretty clear, at least in my mind, Harbaugh is ready to go and jump into his next job. Tomlin does need to take a breath. Why is that?
You think he needs to take a breath?
I think so. It just seems that way. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. It just kind of feels that way.
I really feel like it's more because of the personality and how that'll translate to television. Just like I think that, Harbaugh, I don't think that the networks are looking at Harbaugh saying like, oh, we've got to hire him. Now, do I think they would? Yeah, I think plenty of them would, and I think he'd be an upgrade over a lot of people that we see on TV. But I don't think people look at him. But maybe me included. But like but I think Tomlin is. He's got a sound bite every press conference. I think I think that's a lot of people are looking for that, and I think that he would deliver that.
God, what if Harbaugh goes to Pittsburgh?
What if they switch spots?
Yeah, right.
Wouldn't that? I don't think that's too crazy to think about.
Well, I don't think it's crazy that Pittsburgh would be interested in Harbaugh. I don't think that. because they are, the kind of places like they don't make moves often and they want to make sure they get it right and hopefully have some longevity, with the next guy that they hire. I'd be surprised. I mean, if you think about the rivalry, that feels like, and let's not that guys don't do it, but that one feels weird just even with the rivalry.
Right.
Schefter adds, Tomlin will have options with what he wants to do next. He can take the year off. He can have a job in television as an analyst. He gets to do what he wants, but he won't be coaching the Steelers. So it's Fowler and Schefter that had it first. So crazy to think that the Steelers, Tim, are going to be looking for their fourth head coach since 1969.
Yeah, that's wild when you think of the turnover on this stuff. Obviously, the landscape has changed drastically, but they've been able to, not have to fall into it because of the success of the organization. Now, they had done a remarkable job with personnel over that time. Just think of receiver, defensive line, like you think linebacker, safety and corner. I mean, they just, in terms of how they've drafted, signed guys in free agency, as this, kind of impatient culture has taken over coaching. That has been, I think, a huge part of the success, that they've had. So, my guess is that he takes a year, does TV, kind of reassesses. A name that I think would be an interesting name in Pittsburgh, roots and desire to be there, is a guy that's interviewing Saturday for the Titans, and that's Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, I could see it.
Tim, your father, who was his favorite coach to play for? I know that's kind of not in the same realm, but who stood out to him?
Listen, it was Bill Parcells was my dad, and my dad was definitely seen as a Parcells guy. Played an extra year because, like Parcells would do back then, he'd have a young player, and he'd want to kind of pair that young player with an older veteran player. My dad was the older veteran player for Mark Bavaro. And it was,
wow.
I remember Parcells called my dad, and my dad was probably done playing, and he said, "Hey, I need you to give me one more year." And my dad was like, I think I'm done, Bill. Like, I think I'm done. He's like, I need you one more year. I just got this kid from Notre Dame. I need you to spend a year with them. And my dad did, and, remained friends with Mark for, really the rest of his life.
Wow. We will take a break, come back with Tim Hasselbeck, ESPN NFL analyst, here on Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Tuesday, continuing with Tim Hasselbeck, ESPN NFL analyst and the head coach at Innsworth. Mike Tomlin stepping down after 19 seasons with the Steelers, now 9 jobs open. Before we get into the actual playoffs, I look at the talent pool in coaches, and I feel like if you're a team like the Titans in the need of a coach, no matter who you get, you're probably going to land on somebody good because there's a lot of experience.
We got a lot of opportunities to land somebody good. I think that, it's very different than I think how people felt about the college coaching cycle. I think in the college coaching cycle, I think people were like, oh, wow, like this ends up being pretty thin. Well, you're right. To be hiring a coach in a time where, think of all the guys with previous head coaching experience that are available, and a few of them Super Bowl winning head coaches. I mean, that's not typical. And then the guys that aren't Super Bowl winning head coaches, maybe guys that have won playoff games as head coaches, right? Like I believe Matt Nagy's won, a game as a playoff game as a head coach. So yeah, you have that, and then you even consider, Jeff Hafley, who's going to interview for the job. He has prior head coaching experience and has NFL coordinator experience. So, yeah, I was not even thinking of like Mike McCarthy as a guy that's, a Super Bowl winning, head coach that's available. So, yeah, I think it's pretty good cycle this time around.
Yeah, I mean, 3 Super Bowl winning head coaches that are available. Pretty crazy to think about. Moving into the playoffs, what shocked you the most about this weekend?
Biggest shock, maybe probably how competitive Carolina was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I felt like, and I think the spread on that game, I don't even pay much attention to that type
10.5.
But like, yeah, like that's a big number in pro football, especially, for a team that's going on the road. So, that was a really competitive game. Matthew Stafford had to be amazing for them to win it, and he was.
I mean, was there any doubt that he was not going to lead them down the field and score? I had zero doubt that Matthew Stafford was going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought there's a good chance he was going to do it, but there was very little time left. And, still had to make a great throw. It was a good catch in some not amazing conditions. The ball does, is shaped funny and bounces funny sometimes.
Right.
So I think even when you have the confidence that it's going to happen, there's still the potential that it doesn't. So I do think that, look, when I forget how much, the game was the other day, they're running together now, but, he's inside of a minute, with the football in his hand. Do I think that he's going to get it done? I do. But, I also wasn't totally sure because, sometimes, ball gets batted in the air and, you never know what can happen.
I saw you on your little community access show Sunday night with that bald guy with glasses.
Yeah.
And I thought your breakdown of the Texans Steelers game was perfect about Rodgers, get the ball out of there, just rush forward, confuse. I was like, that's it. And that's the game. I think D'Amico Ryans was watching. That's what they did last night.
I don't think D'Amico was watching me, but but I do. What I do think is, I think everyone in general, and I think it definitely, and look, I'm guilty of this as an analyst. We tend to focus a lot on offensive football and not as much on defense. Look, like Milton Williams for the Patriots is maybe their best player.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's so disruptive and such a problem, but he doesn't get the attention that we're going to give Drake May. And I think a similar thing happens, when you talk about the Texans defense, because of their ability to rush the passer and their ability to just be disruptive with just 4 guys, allows them a lot of times to have numbers advantage in the passing game. And they're really good. And I really felt like for the Pittsburgh Steelers to have success, they were going to have to change the launch point of where Aaron Rodgers was,
mm-hmm.
just because he can't move the way that he once could. And if you know where to find him, for those guys to rush the passer and know, like, look, he's going to be 7 to 9 yards behind the center, it's just going to be hard to have a ton of success doing it that way.
Tim, I just want you to know that Joe and I have appointment programming on Sunday nights to watch you with SVP. So that's how supportive we are.
I just want to know when you guys sleep, because I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching. But I mean, do you it always, and we're in Central Time Zone, but I'm always like, really, you're still awake? Good for you. Okay.
We are.
Well, do you fly up Saturday or you fly up Sunday?
Depending on the assignment, but yeah, I mean, I'm usually on site before, any of the early games start.
So that's Saturday.
Usually I'm always on. Well, yeah, sometimes there's a flight, listen, I'm not a 3-time Emmy Award winning television host. So like, if I was, I would probably have a private plane that takes me there.
Yes.
But since I'm not, I have to get there commercially. So if anybody's listening, or if you guys want to do a sponsorship deal for me, to get me places privately, feel free to do that.
Okay, perfect. We can work on that. Real quick before we let you go, your buddy Trent Dilfer returning to Lipscomb to be their head coach. I cannot wait for that matchup when we get it.
He called me to tell me that he was taking the job before they announced it, and we kind of had some scheduling issues where this past year both Ensworth and Lipscomb were off on September 19th, and so Jamie Graham, their previous coach, we scheduled a game, so we're both available that same weekend this coming year, and so I already asked Trent. I said, let's get it on the schedule. So. I thought he would say yes to me, but he said he had to get there and figure things out first. So
he's scared of you.
I thought he was.
Let's put a little pressure on him. Let's put a little pressure on him. You're one.
Well, I thought he was calling to tell you he's going to take your quarterback, your tight end, your guard, your tackle, your defensive back, your linebacker, and defensive coordinator from you. But another phone call. Hey, real quick before we go, you have to answer that. Fernando Mendoza, Carson Beck. Give me the pros and cons of each of those, Tim, going to the next level.
Well, I haven't, watched those guys other than on TV, but I would say this. I think the thing I love about Mendoza is he's big, he's super accurate. You can tell he's really smart. He's the kind of guy I feel like you can put a lot on him, which you need to do when you're in the NFL. So I think people are going to like him quite a bit in the process. And then I think for Beck, I do think, and it's kind of interesting because I think he was a highly recruited kid. He's been, kind of anointed in some of these places, but he's weathered the storm a little bit, dealing with injury, having to find a new home and then playing well somewhere new. So I do think the evaluation process, which is brutal, but I do think it's going to be relatively kind to him as well. Because I think there's going to be a grit in his story that people like quite a bit.
I love it. Real quick before we go, our question of the day is, do you remember your high school house phone number, the phone number you had in high school at your house, at your parents' house? Do you remember that?
I do.
Do you?
508-528-4733. Yep.
Holy cow.
Yep.
Well done.
Wow.
I do. I'm trying to think if but I think a better question would be is like, okay, the 3 people you call the most right now, do you know their phone numbers by heart?
That's a big fat no. That's a great question too.
Because I'm thinking about it, and like I know my wife's phone number, I know Elizabeth's number, but like then if it's like one of my kids or my brothers or something like that, no shot that I can recite their number. Chase's, I know Chase's, but I won't do that on air.
I don't even know Chase's number. I got it in my phone. I couldn't call you.
I mean, when you gotta.
Well, Chase acts like he's friends with you, Joe. You have his burner number. Like
Tim, great stuff as always. We even had breaking news in the middle of it, so that was something.
Hey, so by the way, I went 0 for 2 on saying that both of those guys would still be head coaches.
Hey, it's okay. I mean, I think this is one of those weird coaching cycle years, but kind of interesting to watch. So we look forward to seeing your thoughts on it on television, and thanks for joining us as always.
Sounds good. See you, fellas. Have a good week.
See ya. You too. Tim Hasselbeck, ESPN NFL analyst and Innsworth head coach, joining us on the program. Mike Tomlin out as the Steelers head coach, stepping away after 19 years. So I'm gonna pose this. Do you want Tomlin, Harbaugh, McCarthy? Those are the 3 Super Bowl winning coaches, or the field? And if it's the field, tell me who. 615-737-1025. Jason Big Joe, 1025 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 1025 The Game on this Tuesday. Mike Tomlin stepping down as the Steelers head coach. And as some of you have pointed out on the text line, and it's good to point this out, he he is stepping down. He wasn't fired. He is under contract with Pittsburgh through 2027. So that's next year. So if he wanted to coach immediately, which the sense I'm getting is he does not, there'd be some wheeling and dealing there. You'd either have to trade for his rights or Pittsburgh would have to give permission to another team. So it's a little tricky there to hire him right now, which makes me think even more he's just going to go do TV for a year or two.
Probably. Overall, he's 193 and 114 in the playoffs. 8-12, has not won a playoff game since the 2016 season when they won and went to the AFC Championship game back then. So, look, everything's got an end date, right?
Sure. I mean, 19 seasons, that's pretty impressive. But I will be curious of what happens now in Pittsburgh. McCarthy makes some sense. You know, could that lure – all indications are he and Rodgers got along in Green Bay. They won a Super Bowl together. So could that lure Rodgers back for a year with McCarthy?
You know, it's weird. This is very weird. He is tied with one other coach at 193 wins. Guess who that other coach is?
McCarthy is? Or Tomlin?
Tomlin.
McCarthy.
No.
Or Harbaugh. Fisher.
Weird.
Fisher.
Nope. Think about it. Weird.
Say it.
Bill Cowher.
Close. Who was before Bill Cowher?
Chuck Noll?
Chuck Noll.
Oh, wow.
They're both tied at 100, according to this list, 193 wins.
Huh.
So at ninth all time.
That is pretty weird.
So, yeah, they're both. Chuck Noll was there from 1969 to 1991 and Tomlin 2007 to 2026.
So did he coach longer than Cowher?
Cowher was there from 92 to 06. So Cowher's there 15 seasons.
Yeah.
Tomlin 19 seasons and 22, 23. Chuck Noll's are 23 seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about 3 head coaches since when I was born. That's it.
And how many? Let's see. Tomlin lost 1 Super Bowl?
Yeah. 2. Mike
Green
McCarthy.
Bay.
Yeah.
And Rodgers.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
it was one of
3 coaches. Titans will be on their 3rd coach this century or whatever, this decade. Vrabel, Callahan, and whoever they hire next.
They'll be on their 3rd coach in like the last 3 years.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I mean, yeah.
All right. So good for them. A lot of change, but it was time. And
So yeah, so I feel like Tomlin's not really in play. It looks like he'll probably do TV, which I'm with Tim. I'm with, every network is probably already calling his agent going, what's he want?
What do we say all the time about people that leave this industry to go someplace else?
They want to get back.
No. Out of sight,
Out of mind.
out of mind.
Yeah.
So I think Tim talking about going to TV, you're still there.
Yeah.
You're still very prominent in everybody's mind. You're still there and part of everything. That's what Belichick did, the TV thing. He didn't want to be forgotten. They don't want to be forgotten.
He did the McAfee stuff and
Yes, all that.
yeah. And look, what did we say yesterday with McLean that they need, we need some new blood with NFL broadcasting. And I think Tomlin would be really good at it. Whether it's and I don't want to hear I think in the studio, I don't want to see him do games.
No.
He could, but I think in the studio, like if you put him with, I mean, honestly, they're not going to, but if you bump Bradshaw and put Tomlin in on that Fox crew, it would help.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best. I love Howie Long. I love Strahan. I mean,
Yeah. They need a coach.
Yeah.
They're missing a coach.
Yeah.
They had that with Jimmy and they're missing that. So,
but when you do that, you need to be very black and white about everything. You need to, if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad.
yeah, agree.
Call that. And that we've talked on the show before about Joe Montana. He'll be the greatest. Lasted 1 year. He said, I can't criticize. I know what they're going through. I can't criticize a quarterback. I can't do it.
Here's the thing with like Bill Cowher, for instance,
Who's terrible, by the way, on that show.
I think he got a little bit better when he finally decided he wasn't going to be a head coach anymore. But that first, because everybody thought, it's the same thing. He's going to go do TV, and then the Carolina job opened, and he was linked there, and there was a few other jobs, and everybody thought he was going to come back. And when he finally decided that he didn't want to come back and got a little more critical, that's when he got better. I agree. Tomlin needs to tell it like it is.
Right.
And not worry about pissing somebody off. I mean, he's a good enough coach that if and when he's ready to coach again, he'll get a job.
I was going to ask Tim that about when you're talking about a coach or a player, are you worried that they're going to call you? Like, man, you don't know what happened. You don't know what happened. Because I don't care if I have an opinion and I'll throw the opinion. And if someone wants to counteract that person wants to do that, that's fine. I've had that happen before in a Titans locker room, which is fine. That's my opinion. What goes on? It's no life or death. We move on from that, right?
Right.
Crazy, man.
So with what's available now, don't tell me who you think it's going to be. Tell me who you want.
Who do I want?
Yeah.
Matt Nagy.
Okay. I say Harbaugh. That's where I'm at right now.
Where are you at?
I am here at the studio.
I like the relationship him and Borgonzi got. I really like that.
Peter Schrager was another one, went on McAfee and said, the team I would keep an eye on with Harbaugh other than the Giants is the Titans.
Why?
I don't know.
He must be getting some sort of control, like control the roster, something. Something's out there for him to come here and all of a sudden make Tennessee. Because this job ain't no better than Arizona and the Giants. It's in that lower tier job, man.
Yeah.
The talent is depleted. You're not going to win immediately. Yeah, I got $100 million. Are you going to spend it wisely? Something's been told to him that he could have control over something. What would that be?
I don't know. I guess the roster.
Has to be. If I'm Borgonzi, I'm like, no, it's my team.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not coming unless I do that. Well, you're not coming.
I mean, I don't know. So, just something to continue to watch. Ryan McGee going to join us at the top of the next hour. We'll get back to our question of the day and much more coming up next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game.
Hi, it's Big Joe here. Look, we've talked a lot the last couple of years about anxiety and depression, 2 words that can just wreck your life if you let them. And men, sadly, most of us lead lives of quiet desperation, but it does not have to be that way. That's why we're so honored that we've partnered with Unity Psychiatric Care, based right here in Middle Tennessee, to get you back on track and living the great life that you absolutely deserve. I say all the time, reaching out to someone and talking to someone changed my life. And I want the same for you. If I can go to therapy, you can go to therapy. It works. Just go to GameNashville.com, click on the Chase and Big Joe show. There you'll see a link for Unity Psychiatric Care and start taking back your life. It's private, it's secure, it's confidential. No one has to know you're going. I just need you to reach out. Also, you may be the loved one who notices another loved one isn't doing well, and you could be that person to turn their life around. Again, just go to the GameNashville.com, click on the Chase and Big Joe show, and then on the right is information for Unity Psychiatric Care. Listen, we love you guys so much. Help is just around the corner. Take back your life, live the life you want, and please know you don't have to go through any of this alone. Again, the GameNashville.com, click on the Chase and Big Joe show, and let the journey to wellness begin.
The Breeze, that's what they called Joe Dubin back in high school.
They do. Like that guy and that Drakkar smells really good on him.
He's just breezing through. That's
I
what
think
he's doing.
Today is the anniversary of Skinner coming back after the plane crash. Their
it may
first
be.
show.
1987 is when that was. That was the year I was born.
Was it? I thought I saw 79.
They may have done something, but the reunion tour with Johnny and like putting the whole band back together was 87.
You were correct on that. I think in 79 was their first concert after, at least what I'm reading here. But then there was a reunion tour in 87 with Johnny as lead vocalist.
Yeah. So
okay, there we go.
There was something else I saw that happened like 12 years ago today or something. I can't remember what it was. I lost it.
Yeah, they reunited at the Charlie Daniels Volunteer Jam 5 in January of 1979 here in Nashville. Reuniting only on one occasion performed an instrumental version of Freebird, and they came here to the Volunteer Jam in this auditorium. Collins, Rice, and Powell and Pyle were joined by Charlie Daniels and members of his band.
So it was here?
Yeah, they played one song.
Freebird?
At the Volunteer Jam. God, the Volunteer Jam was so... I went 1 year. I was like, what am I witnessing here? This is historic, and I knew it at the time.
I remember on that, obviously before my time, but watching documentaries that when they put the band back together and Johnny agreed to be the singer, that he at first refused to sing Freebird, that was Ronnie's song, and he didn't feel right about doing it. And so like on that tour, the audience sang it. They just played the instrumental.
You were correct.
And the audience sang it. And then when they realized that they were going to keep the band together, he finally did it. But and he would, I think they still do it, that he'd bring the hat out, that his brother would always wear.
The band's concert encore would always be instrumental version of Freebird. Rossington and Collins eventually had a falling out over the love of a girl who Rossington married, of whom he left and formed the Rossington band. But that was it. You were correct on that.
And then Alan Collins got paralyzed in a car wreck.
Look at you, man.
And died a few years later. I was all about Leonard Skinner, man. Like the day we met Johnny Van Zant was actually a really cool day.
I mean, I chased him down, and then I chased Chase down and said, come out here.
Yeah.
He was I got that picture. He's more excited than we were.
I know.
He was all about, where are you guys? What are you guys doing? Where are you? I'll stop by and listen. I was like, yeah, you won't.
He was cool. I mean, it was like, it was seriously, it was one of those, like, why I, always say yes to doing things, because one day they won't ask.
Right.
It was seriously, it was like one day they won't know who I am. And like the fact that somebody did, like, just made his day.
That was. Yeah. He was so nice too.
Yeah.
Tiny guy, right?
Yeah.
Tiny.
But I've seen Skinner like 3 or 4 times. The new Skinner. I never got to see the old Skinner, but
they've been on a reunion tour, like a final. They were
there's no original members left.
Correct. They've been. I hate the word final farewell because that's such an oxymoron. They've been on a farewell tour like the last 12 years.
So is Kiss.
Yeah, right.
And they've done like several.
You see that commercial with Paul Stanley, like working a corporate job?
Yeah.
It's when he leaves, and like fireworks explode. He's like, "See you tomorrow." He's like, "See you guys tomorrow." He walks out. It's really good.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Also, we got Ryan McGee at 2:00. Again, the portal stuff that's going on. I'm watching the college football live on ESPN behind us. I got to sit down and really. I don't know who's winning, losing the battle.
I've kind of ignored it.
Same.
Like, I thought I'd be more interested in it, but there's so much. It's just so overwhelming. Like,
it is.
Like NFL free agency, like I dive all in. Like I'm watching it. I like NHL free agency and NFL free agency. I'm all in because it's just like, it's so fascinating. Baseball's boring because it takes forever. And but I just, I mean.
Like Vanderbilt had a big on their Facebook page. We got him. And I look, I'm like, who is it? It's a long snapper from Virginia. I was like, okay, but I guess because the free agents we know, and be plugged in with the I don't know this wide receiver going to Vanderbilt. I know Vanderbilt lost Trey Richardson, went to Louisville. I think he's gone.
Really?
Yep, he's out of there. That's the new world, is that people leave left and right. And I'm looking at Indiana's players that they're tight end played at Tennessee. Holden Stays played at Tennessee, and then Mendoza was at California for a while. So look, when the dust clears and settles, I'll look to all the portal stuff. But right now, I can't tell you any this or that, what's going on.
I'm sure coaches are just feeling the same way. Like,
What, 2 more days, 3 more days? Thank God.
So if you're Indiana and Miami, like if you had somebody working on this behind the scenes,
you have to.
But I know Indiana got a quarterback. Who'd they get? They got somebody's quarterback.
I don't remember. I don't.
North Texas, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's the 0-star recruit out of high school that nobody cared about. Him.
Right.
The coach at North Texas is actually Cam Ward's quarterback coach.
That's right. Didn't he go to Oklahoma State?
Oh, that's right, Oklahoma State. Never mind, not Indiana. Why am I thinking Indiana?
Oh, okay, because they're on TV right now. Yeah, he went the whole like North Texas team went to Oklahoma State.
That's right.
That's just the way it is now. I mean, nothing's going to sustain year to year. You cannot talk about carryover. Everybody's gone. That's what happens. That's the world they created in the portal, and that's what you have to deal with. All that good stuff.
615-737-1025. Our question of the day, real quick, Joe.
Pardon? Sorry. He was talking to me.
Oh.
What'd you say?
What's our question of the day?
Do you remember your phone number at the house when you're in high school? Do you remember your phone number out the house when you're in high school? Now, this is a kind of a generational thing. Like Dr. Crane's young. He just got out of high school a couple of weeks ago. So he remembers his number high school. I don't. And I had a list that I was attached to, and then I see my phone number in high school. Man, I'm telling you, like the caller earlier, it evoked so many emotions with that, because that was a phone number I would call my mom and would be told everything's going to be okay, or I'm going to whip your ass, or you're in trouble. But it was my number. It was our number. So a lot of emotions evolved in knowing the high school phone number. I mean, I've gotten probably a dozen texts from friends. Oh, I remember our number. I don't remember my number. I wish I remember my number. So do you remember your number from high school?
I do. I do indeed.
And your grandparents?
Yep. And my dad's. And
how?
I called it so much. And like back then you had to memorize a number.
True.
Like
I truly don't know your number.
I didn't have a cell phone until I was halfway through my freshman year in high school.
Good. Parents were smart.
Yeah. And the only reason I got one is because there was one night I went to a basketball game and there was a miscommunication on who was picking me up. So I'm like standing there waiting on somebody to pick me up.
So like 2 a.m.
No, it wasn't bad. I mean, it
Poor
was,
guy.
I grabbed like one of my friend's cell phone and called mom. I'm like, are you picking me up? Is me, mom, or Papa picking me up? Who's picking me up?
It's like $15 a minute back then.
Yeah.
Those phone calls after hours.
Yeah. So I got one after that. And like, you couldn't text on it. It was just calls.
Was it a flip when you pull the antenna up?
No, it was a candy bar phone. It was a small one.
Oh, okay. And that little Nokia.
Yeah, I think it was a Nokia actually.
One of the things.
But I've had the same number since then.
How long have you had the same cell phone number you still got?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same here. My number I got at Channel 2. And they gave me the phone, and then they said, hey, do you want to buy that number? I'm like, yeah, I'll buy it. And then, you owe us this amount of money. I never paid Channel 2. And I got the number forever. I'm like paying that. I'm not giving you $100. And so I've kept the number since 2003. And again, I don't know your number. I should know your number. I don't know Dr. Crane's number.
I think I know part of your number.
I do. I have no clue what your number is.
But like, that's the thing. Now you you rarely dial numbers.
So what if I have to borrow a phone to call you?
Yeah,
I can't. I don't know how to call you.
That's the thing. Like, you're kind of screwed.
Like, do you know Chase's number? Who? Chase? Is it not on your phone? I don't know who you are. Well,
right.
Damn it. So if something happened, I'd probably call here. 615-737-1025. Get David James to answer. David gave me everybody's number, and David's like, I can't give those numbers out. Like a guy I used to work with who couldn't give out private cell phone numbers. Thing. I wanted Willie Donnick's cell phone number, and I couldn't get Willie's cell phone number.
Your luck, you'd be like in an emergency. You can't remember anybody's number. You call the radio station. David answers the phone. Oh, we already got a winner. Thanks. Joe's got one shot, one phone call.
And that's it. Oh, yes, that's exactly how it would happen.
Oh my gosh. Coming up next, we'll talk to Ryan McGee from ESPN, some college football, some racing, a little bit of everything with him. Coming up next, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. Hour number 3 on Chasing Big Joe 102.5, the game on this Tuesday. Hope you're having a great day so far. He's Big Joe. I'm Chase McCabe, Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier on the ones and twos. Mike Tomlin out as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we're following that. What's next for him? But we'll talk a little racing, a little college football now with our buddy Ryan McGee from ESPN, who joins us now. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm working on some stuff for game day about Miami. Like and honestly, I didn't realize this. 3 of Miami's 5 national championships were won at the old Orange Bowl. Like they won the Orange Bowl, and so this is a chance for them to do something kind of old school. But yeah, that's a long way of saying I'm working, but I'm getting ready to go down to the game, which I'm fired up about.
Well, that is going to be really cool. I'm going to be completely honest with you. One of the reasons we're having you on today, I saw your tweet, of Ryan Blaney, and the caption, which read, "Big thanks to Ryan Blaney for leaving the 1897 spring training game between the Cleveland Spiders and the Boston Beaneaters to attend today's NASCAR announcement." I laughed very hard at that. So well done, my friend.
Thank you. No, it was the truth, and and Blaney's got a baby at the house, and anybody that has kids knows you just you don't really shave the first 6 months, but Roger Penske makes him shave. Like once he officially becomes official, like, all right, I got to go to work in February, Roger Penske likes everybody clean shaven. It's like the Yankees back in the day. So yeah, he's getting as much mustache as he can get in. But yeah, that thing was straight off a Pringles can.
It is fantastic. Hey, Dale Earnhardt would be proud of that mustache. That's on par for sure. So what do you think about the new old format, essentially going back to the chase that we had starting in 2004? Jimmy Johnson certainly was successful with it, and that's how NASCAR is going to crown their champion moving forward.
Yeah, and Jimmy's the reason, quite honestly, that they changed it, because he just kept killing everybody in the old chase format, and so like we have to do something different. And what fans I think forget now is they wanted something different because they were all tired. I mean, you remember everybody got sick of Jimmy winning all the time. But I think it's great. I think it's interesting. It's kind of funny that they're going back to the old chase system, because I mean, I'm old enough to remember when everybody complained about that, and now everybody acts like it's the solution. And I think it is. It's the problem we saw, and it had always been an issue in the past, or close to an issue in the past. But when Denny Hamlin had what might have been the best season of his career last year and dominated the championship weekend, I mean, from the time they unloaded the cars on Friday, he was the fastest car there. And then for a caution flag to cost him everything that he had done throughout the course of 36 races, with basically a lap to go, that didn't sit well with anyone, including, the guy who won the championship. I talked to Kyle Larson, I remember, on Monday morning, right after he won the championship on Sunday night, and he goes, "I'm going to see Denny later today. I don't know what to say to him," because everybody agreed. So I think that, and I was in the meeting. Look, so when we first had the first initial committee meeting back in February at Daytona, I was in the room when Mark Martin just teed off for 10 straight minutes about. I talked to old school race fans, and they just want to go back to the old point system. And I don't think that was the answer. Like one through race through 36, but having some sort of postseason, in addition to a 26 race regular season, but getting rid of all the gimmicks, I think that's a pretty good compromise. And Mark Martin said it during the announcement yesterday. Hopefully this will bring some of the old school fans that got irritated with the way it is now. The eliminations are gone. And now we just have the old school chase.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I think it was the perfect compromise, and I feel like NASCAR is in a very interesting place now. Post lawsuit, and I'm sure there's some hurt feelings on both sides, but I think ultimately they did what needed to be done, and that's figuring out a settlement and how they can move forward. How do you see the sport changing now that is all behind them?
Well, it just was so tense. If you took last season and just did like the blind taste test, like this is what happened in the 2025 season, I think most people will look at it and go, man, that's pretty good. I mean, we had some unbelievable finishes and had a great championship race and a lot of different winners. And it just, on paper, it was a great year. no one's going to remember it like that, because when you went to the racetrack, particularly the second half of the season, it just got super, super tense. And the reason was because everyone knew the lawsuit was coming. And I think that most people thought that it would be settled by the time we got to but it overshadowed the championship. And the conversation wasn't Denny Hamlin could finally win a championship. The conversation was, man, what if Denny Hamlin wins a championship while he's suing NASCAR? And so I just think everybody's relieved that's over. And everybody's kind of mad that it even got to trial, because if it doesn't get to trial, then the texts don't get out. And, you know, Richard Childress isn't embarrassed, and now he's not mad. It just got so contentious that I think there's a lot of relief that it's over. And you saw that during the announcement. And then on top of all that, Greg Biffle dies, right?
Right.
And so I think you saw yesterday the look on everyone's face was, man, you know, we're finally doing what Jim France talked about when they walked out of the courthouse, you know, a month ago, which is let's start talking about racing again. And I'm hoping that by the time we get to Daytona out here in just a few weeks, then yeah, we'll just be talking about racing and you know, get through media day and then get on with racing.
There certainly, you know, is discussion, and I'm with you. I'm surprised that it ever got to trial, and it didn't need to, but something needed to happen, in my opinion. Like, nothing against the France family. The France family is the reason there is NASCAR and have done so much for the sport. But, you know, I agree. The teams deserved more of the pie. The drivers deserve, you know, more decision making. So it was kind of a necessary evil to hopefully send the sport in a better place. It's just now, how do they all work together to do that?
Yeah. And I hate that Steve Phelps got sacrificed in this.
Me too, because Steve's a good guy.
He's a great guy. And the reality is that if Steve had his way, I wrote this in the column, you know, that I wrote about, you know, what we learned the day that the trial ended, which was, you know, Steve Phelps had his way, this would have all been done a long time ago. But the reality is he couldn't do but so much because Jim France wouldn't let him do it. And so, you know, but that being said, those texts were terrible, and it was a bad idea. And you know, we'll never know the context of it. Was that at 2:00 in the morning with a bottle of wine? I have no idea, but it was ill-advised. And what I hate is that Steve is the guy who got rid of the Confederate flag. Steve is the guy that brought NASCAR back more before any other major league sport during COVID. And Steve is the guy that modernized NASCAR and pushed it into the future. And now, you know, he's going to be remembered for those texts. And that's, you know, he shouldn't have done it, but I hate that that's where it was left. But I'm with you. I think that, you know, the good that came out of it is that, yes, I believe that. I didn't understand why the charters weren't permanent, you know, and now they are. And I agree. I've told the story many times, but back in the 90s, man, when I was first doing this, the saddest thing I've ever seen that wasn't, you know, like a physical death, you know, injury on the racetrack was watching Ricky Rudd and Bill Elliott and Jeff Bodine and Bobby Allison and Cale Yarborough and all these guys, you know, auction off their lives for pennies on the dollar because what they had built wasn't worth anything. And that's what the charters are. And so I have always supported that. And I supported the fact that I thought this should be permanent. And, but you know, it had to get ugly to get there, but now we're there, and hopefully the sport's better off for it.
Ron McGee is on the Chase and Big Joe show. Ron, what years were you at Tennessee?
I was there for the Johnny Majors coup d'etat. I was there about my senior year was 93. I was at the Vanderbilt game Thanksgiving weekend. I saw Heath Schuler. I hadn't seen Heath in forever, but that was my quarterback. And so it was good to see all those guys. But yeah, Heath and I were laughing about, you know, we start talking about the 90s and people act like we're talking about, you know, when we play with Bronco Nagurski.
You know, what's funny is that like all my friends went there in the late 80s, early 90s. And I tell people they don't understand me, Ryan. I'm like, if I had a quarterback, one quarterback in college to take, give me Andy Kelly all day long. And they look at me like I'm crazy. And I loved Andy Kelly.
Yeah, no, AK was my guy. In fact, my senior year, I worked for the football team. I worked on the video crew. I worked with Barry Rice and Lincoln, those guys.
Oh yeah.
And, yeah. And so we had a football crew intramural team, and it was the equipment guys and the, you know, the trainers and us. And we walked out on the field my senior year, and Andy Kelly was our quarterback because AK was playing arena football.
Right.
He was a grad assistant. And so, when we walked out on the field, and the Sigma Chi's thought they were going to whip us, and we had the Cotton Bowl MVP with us. I think they realized they probably didn't stand a chance. But Andy, and I will say this, I also like my chances if I'm throwing it to Alvin Harper and Carl Pickens.
Oh, all day long.
But AK was the man, and people. I tell Schuler this all the time. Schuler, he to me is the perfect example of what I call a pre-internet guy. If Heath Schuler played now, like with the internet, he would break the internet.
Oh,
but people don't remember him like I think they should. Same with Carl Pickens. They don't remember like they think they should because they played right before the internet became a thing.
Give me the Heath Schuler game at Georgia '92 all day long.
Oh, it was that game changed my chemistry, man. And it was so when I was in school, Tennessee was in an 8-year losing streak to Alabama, but we started that decade plus streak against Georgia, and that was back in the days where I think Vandy and Kentucky neither one had beaten Tennessee since the early '80s. So it was a good time. And Coach Majors was my guy. When Coach passed away a couple of years ago, I wrote a column about the fact that I was really lucky because I worked for the football team for 2 years, and I was on the offensive tower every day shooting practice.
Oh, man.
Shooting drills. And that was Coach Majors' tower. And so every day, man, Coach Majors, Ryan, how'd you do on your history test? Are you still dating that girl from Gallatin? Like every single what games your dad reffing this weekend? I mean, Coach Majors was my coach, man, and I miss him.
Yeah, he was great. I did a Jack Daniel's barbecue tasting. Ryan, it was me, him, and Guy Fieri at the same table.
Are you kidding me?
And Johnny was fascinated by Guy Fieri's hair, and he kept asking me, "What the hell do you think he put in his hair?" And I'm bald, and I'm like, "Coach, I don't know." He's like, "Yeah, I probably shouldn't be asking you." I'm like, "Yeah, you probably shouldn't." But he was fascinated by Guy Fieri.
The least surprising part of that sentence was that it was a Jack Daniels event and Coach showed up.
Right, to do all that. I want to ask you, though, you mentioned earlier when you came on talking to Chase about the Orange Bowl. Are you doing there's a great Facebook page called Ghosts of the Orange Bowl. It's all these great pictures and videos from the Orange Bowl from the 50s up to the time the Dolphins left in '86. I'm fascinated by that stadium, and I'm curious, what story are you doing about that?
Well, it's kind of what you're talking about, which is kind of educating people on, and again, I knew that Miami had won Orange Bowls in that stadium, but I didn't realize 3 of their 5 national championships were clinched at home. But I was there on a night. It's funny. So you guys know this. My dad was a college football referee forever, and he worked the 1990 Orange Bowl, and Colorado was number 1, and Notre Dame beat Colorado in the Orange Bowl. And the craziest thing about that night was that the stadium was packed with all these Miami Hurricanes fans. And all of a sudden, randomly during the game, these cheers would go up in the stands. And it was all the Miami fans who were listening to the Sugar Bowl. Because Miami was playing Alabama in the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
So they were there to root for Notre Dame because they needed Notre Dame to beat Colorado, who was number 1. And then meanwhile, Miami was beating Alabama in New Orleans. But the Orange Bowl was amazing. Man, it wasn't fancy. Like, it was kind of a dump. I remember we went out on the field the morning of the game with Dad, and it was really just dirt that was spray painted green. There wasn't a lot of actual turf on the field because they played high school championships there, and there was a soccer team there and all that stuff. But that place was kind of like Shea Stadium. All Mets fans say it's a dump, but it's our dump. And there's a lot of Miami fans that still wish they played in that stadium. But now that's where the Marlins ballpark is. It sits right on top of the site there in Little Havana where the Orange Bowl was.
Yeah, it's crazy. You drive by there thinking, what in the world? How was that? And you look at it and you stare at it. Same spot. So you're right. Same spot.
Yep. Yeah. But that's, I'm real fortunate. I get to write these essays for College Game Day every week. And a lot of times they let me lean into my history nerd, aspect of my life. And so that's what I'm writing about is, that the magic of that. And so, if this is going to be a true old school Miami national championship, it would make a lot of sense if they won it, not at the old Orange Bowl, obviously, but if they clinched it at home.
Who wins it in your opinion?
Well, I said all that, and now I'm just going to tell you Indiana's probably going to win. but it's interesting because there's a home aspect to that as well, because, you know, for folks that don't know, I mean, Fernando Mendoza grew up going to Miami games, you know, at, you know, what I still call Joe Robbie Stadium, Hard Rock Stadium. His dad played high school football there at Miami Columbus with Mario Cristobal.
Wow.
They were high school teammates. Yeah. And it's going to be interesting because the crowd will be a home crowd for Miami, but it will also be a home crowd for Mendoza, who grew up 30 minutes south of the stadium. So and listen, until it's the Ric Flair line, right? You know, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And right now, Indiana is just, I mean, it's been a while since we've seen a team go through a postseason like this. And it's a great story. It's still, honestly, it's like Diego Pavia, right? It's hard for me to wrap my brain around the number one team in the country and the Heisman winner being at Indiana, because our whole lives, everyone's whole lives, Indiana's been terrible at football. The losingest team in the history of college football until this year. And then the only reason that they're not still on the list because they haven't lost a game this year. So it's hard to wrap your brain around it, but man, it sure is fun to watch.
It's going to be a fun one for sure. And then we're about 6 weeks or a little bit less away from Daytona. So it's almost here.
I booked my Daytona travel right before you guys called. So it's, I'll be going back, and there's don't tell anybody, but I'm going to go to the national championship game in a few weeks later. I'm going to go to Daytona, and they pay me in American dollars to do it, but don't tell anybody.
I know.
I don't want that secret to get out.
It's a good gig. Well, there's a good chance we'll see you in Daytona. So we'll look forward to catching up.
Yep. I look forward to it. I'll be there.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Ryan McGee, ESPN, also Marty and McGee on ESPN Radio and the SEC Network. Always enjoy our conversations with him. We'll come back with more. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Tuesday. Appreciate Ryan McGee for joining us. You got him excited about Andy Kelly.
Look, this is why this show works, right? Like, you are a little bit of the old, but all of the new.
Yeah.
Dr. Crane's all the new. I'm just the old man in the room who's like the old, right? And so all those things.
I consider myself like between you two, I'm in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, you got one foot in this portal, 1 foot in that portal. But I mean, Andy Kelly was an amazing quarterback at Tennessee, but he also had Pickens and Alvin Harper and Terrence Cleveland and T.D. Woods from Gallatin. I mean, those are some iconic guys he had there. So,
see, you know how
we all just kind of revolve around these different time periods.
When I was a kid, like, I vaguely remember Heath Schuler, like vaguely. It was pretty much Peyton for me.
Yeah.
But I remember Andy Kelly with the Cats. I remember Andy Kelly doing sideline for the Ball Network. I mean, I knew who he was, and obviously.
So my quarterbacks at Tennessee, it was, Alan Cockrell, and then you had Tony Robinson, and then Daryl Dickey, and then you had Andy Kelly and Sterling Hinton and all these guys. And yours was, the Iceman, Casey Clausen was great. It was great. Probably the most underrated SEC quarterback of all time. Nobody talks about him, and he was great.
I could probably, let's see. So it was Peyton, T. Martin, Casey Clausen,
Bonehead, Eric Ainge, Rick Clausen.
I feel like there's one in there that
Jonathan is it Crompton?
Yeah, well,
yeah.
But I feel like there was even one before that. Crompton.
Not really, because Ainge
Sims
took it. Yep. Matt Sims.
Who was the one that who'd Kiffin have?
Crompton.
2009. But who was the one he was recruiting, who he was with the Chiefs as a backup?
Tyler Bray.
Yep. So him.
And then he had the quarterback at Clemson was going to come here, and Kiffin didn't like him. What's his name? Taj Boyd, yeah. So there's been all these runs, but Tennessee's had some quarterbacks that haven't set the world on fire, but it all kind of defaults back to Peyton. But man, Andy Kelly, Heath Schuler was, and Ryan McGee's right, man. Heath Schuler was something. He was the running quarterback. I mean, he was something to behold. Nobody could stop him.
He was fun.
So good. And the kind of years ahead of his time, and then got drafted by the Redskins, held out, wasn't very good, goes to the Saints with Ditka, has a hurt foot, and then was never the same after that.
51 minutes ago, Diana Rossini posted, as John Harbaugh continues to gather information about his next landing spot, I'm told the Giants, the Falcons, and the Titans are considered the favorites to land the former Ravens head coach at this time.
We could have said the same thing. We did say the same thing. We have said the same thing in here. It's those. Look, you want to go where you can win. John Harbaugh's not going to do a rebuild. He's not. Unless it's the Giants, because it's New York.
Yeah.
That's it. And the Falcons defense is
okay,
there.
But let me ask you this. Again, this goes back to every coach has an ego. You got $100 million in cap space or more. You look at what the Patriots, when I've been saying this, I've forgotten one big one, the Texans. I mean, the Texans weren't in the playoffs last year. You look at some of these teams, the Bears, that have the young quarterback that they build around through the draft and then supplement with free agency, and all of a sudden they're back in the playoffs. I mean, if you are John Harbaugh, you look at that, and yes, the Giants are certainly in this conversation, as are the Falcons. But you look at $100 million in cap space and go, yeah, we could probably turn this around a lot quicker than people think we could. Whether that's true or not, they're going to think that.
That's fine, but you've already got proven guys in Atlanta. I'm trying to think, who made the playoffs in the AFC South last year? If it wasn't the Texans, who made it? Wasn't the Jags.
Who did win it last year? Colts? No. Well, now I don't remember.
Right.
Maybe it was the Texans?
I'm looking at their schedule from last year, week 18.
Yeah, it was the Texans.
Was it
10-7 record?
So did they miss the year before?
I guess so.
Who beat them in the playoffs last year? The Chargers beat them last year.
Okay, so it was the Texans.
Okay, all right.
So they won. Did they win back to back?
They must have. Yeah.
Okay, so it was a few years ago.
I mean, I
so
get
have
it.
they not missed? So Stroud's made the playoffs every year.
Yes.
Okay.
So right. Yeah. Yes. I just think you've got proven guys in Atlanta. Now you go out there and you have $100 million. That's great. But can you find the right fit here? If you want to win, there you go, man. And Arthur Blank's probably going to give you control of that team. I think it's the Giants are intriguing because it's the Giants, right? You're back in that market in New York City. You could turn around this famed franchise. I would be floored. He comes to Tennessee. Floored.
We'll see. Here's a funny thing for you. Since the AFC South was formed, which was in 2002, the first champion was?
And 02 had to be the Titans.
It was the Titans.
Yeah.
What team has won the most division titles since that time?
Colts.
They have won 9. They have not won it since 2014, though.
Wow.
You know what team is second?
The Jags?
The Texans.
Oh.
The Colts have won it 9 times. The Texans have won it 8 times. The Titans have won it 4, and the Jags have won it 3.
Wow. 24 seasons. That's crazy. The Jags, their third was this year.
Correct. Their first one was 2017.
That's the year with Blake Bortles. They went all the way to the AFC Championship game.
And then 22, and then this year. The Titans last won it in 20 and then 21. So the Titans are the last back-to-back. Or no, I'm sorry. Houston did. But, yeah.
Shows you how I can flip on a dime. But again, with her saying Harbaugh, and he probably is, that's fine. But of all those, Tennessee's going to be the longest rebuild you've got out there.
I mean, didn't people say that about New England?
There were some guys already in place, man. And
okay, who are the guys here? Think about this during the break. We'll come back and we'll talk about this. Because who brought that up earlier? Doug brought that up earlier. We'll talk about that next. Jeremy, hang on. I'll get your call as well. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. It was 9 o'clock in Boise, Idaho.
All day.
Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Tuesday. All right, before we get to that Titans question, Jeremy has a NASCAR comment. Jeremy, what's up?
Hey, how's it going today?
Good, man.
I just wanted to weigh in, and I could be misinformed, but when we were talking about the France family and what they've done, of course, they've done a lot of stuff for NASCAR, but correct me if I'm wrong, didn't they put the death nail in the Nashville Super Speedway out in Lebanon saying there will never be a cup race there? And that pretty much signed the death warrant on that, to just leading them to having just the IndyCar races, the Craftsman truck, and the minor league races rather than anything that was going to be on the echelon of the cup races. And that pretty much kind of put the kibosh on everything. And then to add insult to injury, isn't the road next to the super speedway called Bill France Boulevard or Bill France Drive or something like that?
It is. Well, you know, the speedway now hosts a race and has the last 5 years, but I mean, yeah, they ran NASCAR, and that was Brian France at that time. I think there was a lot of rumor on that, and then there was a little bit of a contest between the Frances and Bruton Smith. You know, that obviously before he bought the speedway, but there's some truth to that, but it's changed, and you got different Frances running it now, and obviously they love being in Nashville. They've brought the award show here several times, and then, like I said, they've had successful sellout races the last 5 years.
Dig it. Just wanted some clarification on that. I appreciate that. I love what y'all do. Y'all are amazing.
Yep. Thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that was a while ago.
That would be you on the NASCAR part. Look, and I think it's when they're like at the National Super Speedway, there were these like a drag strip track that was going to be out there, and
they were going to do it when Dover owned it. And the rumor, I don't know how much truth there was to all this. The rumor was that in the late 90s and the early 2000s, you know, NASCAR was trying to move to different markets,
right?
And it was basically like, you build it, we'll come. So the problem was, you had Chicagoland build a mile and a half, Kansas built a mile and a half, Kentucky built a mile and a half, and Nashville built basically a mile and a half, mile and a third. And so you had all these tracks that were the same. So they go to Chicago, they go to Kansas. Chicago made sense because it's Chicago.
Sure.
Kansas was a bit of a stretch, but they wanted to go to the Midwest. So they did. And then you had Kentucky and Nashville that, you know, weren't that far apart. And they ended up getting bushed in truck races and stuff, but no cup. And then they got to the schedule where they had 36 points paying races, and Bill France Jr., and everybody was like, look, we're done. And the drivers are like, no more. I mean, there's too much on this schedule. So then it became if you want to race, like if you're Dover had 2 races. Well, if you want to go to Nashville, you got to give up one in Dover. Well, they were selling both those races out. Why would they do that?
Sure.
I forgot who owned Kentucky at the time. It was before Bruton bought it, but you know, then Speedway Motorsports buys it, and it's kind of the same thing. And there was a lawsuit because the difference there was they had been promised a race, like it was actually in writing that they were promised a race, and so they sued and they got it, and then they squandered it with the first one because they didn't have the traffic figured out, and it just they never recovered from that. Dover starts going through not selling out, not getting the crowds they did, you know, and that's when the whole fairgrounds thing picked up, because NASCAR was like, we need to be back in Nashville. Like, it makes so much sense to be back in Nashville.
Right.
And they were looking at that, and Dover was like, well, why don't we move one of our races to Nashville? We'll reopen that track. You guys are there. And they've sold out, I think, all but one.
Oh, it's great. Now, is Kentucky gone?
It's closed. They're not racing there. Just sitting there now.
So they built a track.
And Chicago, like, here's the funny thing. Chicago was sitting there. They're going back this year because they did the street course race, and they're not going to do that. So they're going back this year. It was just sitting there. I like that track. I mean, it's just, we got to this cookie mile and a half. You know, Nashville has a little character because it's not quite a mile and a half.
Right.
So it races similar to like a Phoenix, and so it's above a mile, but it kind of races like a short track a little bit. You Kentucky was very similar to, and they reconfigured it a couple times. Like it was kind of similar to a Charlotte or Atlanta or Texas, something like that. And it just in the 90s, they were like, oh, we can't do short tracks. Got to build these these big super speedways. And it's like, man, just character. Like there's one out in Iowa that is a very, very nice track. That's a short track that I love, and I'm glad they're racing at it now.
Don't they do IndyCar at that track too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
the drivers that I get to talk to because of you, I mean, it's always goes back to Bristol.
Mm-hmm.
They hate Bristol, but they love Bristol, right? I mean, that's like the love-hate like that because you're not racing Bristol every week.
Yeah.
You're not racing that kind of track.
But see, here's the thing with Bristol. They have 2 races there. One does really well, one not so much. You know what the biggest difference is? One's at night, one's in the day. There's something about that place at night that's just different.
Well,
and but that's kind of the thing on that. Who would you keep from this Titans team?
Oh gosh, I was going to pull the list up, but I need to see who's.
We need to spend time on this tomorrow.
Well, yeah, that's a good topic tomorrow to see who's going to come because the coach is going to come in and reevaluate everything. Like, all right, whose contract's expiring, whose contract is close to expiring that we can get out of, and that offers a whole new dynamic. But again, I just think whoever this coach is, and you got to build around your quarter. I mean, every successful thing is building around your quarterback. You got to build a line around him, but you can't take a lineman in the first round anymore. You can't do that. Latham and Skoronski have to hit. They have to hit. There's no other excuse. They got to make it happen with them. If you get a good left tackle in there and build, you can go, man. All these teams left, these 8 teams left, all have outstanding offensive lines. Not a secret, man. They all have great lines.
You protect the quarterback and you get
All
him
day.
a couple weapons. I mean, that's how it works. So we will see. I have a feeling more news will happen in the coaching world before tomorrow. And it just seems to be that time of year. Coming up next, we'll tell you what day it is. It's celebrity birthdays. It's Chasing Big Joe on this Tuesday, 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Tuesday. Looking forward to DVD coming up next here on 102.5 The Game as they're at Bridgestone Arena. Predators and Oilers tonight as they continue this homestand. Actually going to wrap it up tonight, and then a couple of games on the road. Friday night at Colorado, and then Saturday night in Vegas, and then back at Bridgestone Arena next week.
3 games. It works. You turn the microphone on.
Yeah, that's generally a good thing. Yes. So, and here's the important thing about tonight: we get a couple of days off in between games, which they don't get a lot of with this schedule and the way it is right now. So, that is obviously is good. And then Buffalo next Tuesday, then Ottawa and Utah on Thursday and Saturday before back on the road for a little East Coast trip that ends January.
Thank you there.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm on Google Calendar.
With that, let's get to what day is it and celebrity birthdays. Sorry, people like to text me during the show.
Okay, first on the list, we have Public Radio Broadcasting Day. So that's always great. That's us. Stephen Foster Memorial Day. So American songwriter. National Rubber Ducky Day. Make sure you get those in the bath. National Shop for Travel Day. Good for that. There we go. National Sticker Day. Printing Ink Day. National Poetry at Work Day. Joe likes a little poetry.
I do. I like a little poetry.
Make your dream
like potpourri too.
I do.
Oh.
I like eating potpourri.
What is that?
Eating potpourri.
Oh.
You just smell better.
Oh, okay. Sounds delicious.
Thank you.
Making Your Dream Come True Day, Korean American Day, and to wrap it up, National Peach Melba Day.
Peach Melba?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's like an ice cream.
Where's the Melba?
I
It's family show, man.
I don't know how to answer that one.
Peach Melba, man.
Is it a hand gesture? I don't know.
Whoa.
Melba? I don't know.
I don't know. Is David James back there? I can't see him.
Yes, he is.
All right, David, get ready to answer the phone. Caller number 4 at 615-737-1025. That's why this is a popular segment. You're going to win a pair of tickets to tonight's game to see Edmonton and Nashville. And you'll also win a Dierks Bentley bobblehead, which that night is tonight. First 10,000 fans will get that Dierks Bentley bobblehead, but you can win one right now. 615-737-1025. Now birthdays.
All right, time for celebrity birthdays. Get these within 2. Dr. Crane, Chase went first yesterday. You get to go first today. How old is Kentucky Derby trainer, horse owner, all-around good guy, Bob Baffert?
73.
74.
73 exactly.
Yeah,
How you answered that way too quickly.
I know who that is.
Yeah, but you answered it way. Did you talk to him today? Know it's his birthday?
He called him.
All right.
Hey, Bob, what's up?
I like horse racing.
You're like, hey, Bab.
Because people have told me I could be one of those jockeys.
By the way, you could. So I said by the way, thanks to the Predators for having us last night at their bowling event. You could definitely be a jockey. But I said to him last night, I could totally see Dr. Crane in a bowling league. Like you would have the wrist strap things and like the custom ball.
My uncle that lives in Fairview is in a bowling league somewhere in Dixon.
I could totally see because we say this with love and joke that you are the youngest 73-year-old we've ever met. I could totally see you being in a bowling league.
Well, I hate to rain on the parade. I despise wasting my time. So that's something I just
bowling's a waste of time. You think?
A little bit for me.
I think it's fun. I'm not good at it, but I think it's fun.
It's fun. I'd rather spend 2 hours of my life doing something else.
But Chase is right. You're the type of guy that walks in, you talk to everybody. Hey, how's it going? How you doing today?
And then bowls like 280.
Yeah, right?
I mean, look, natural athletes are natural athletes. You can't help it.
Yeah.
No, you can't. All right, next up is Chase, you go next. Golfer Mark O'Meara. How old is Mark O'Meara?
You always name these golfers I don't know. 68.
60.
69.
Oh, wow. There we go. Nice.
Chase or 2-1. Dr. Crane, hockey player. He played with Stamkos, I think. Nikolai Kubublin? Nikolai Kubublin?
Habibulin.
What is it?
Habibulin.
How the hell do you, it's a K. Habibulin?
Yeah.
That's it. That's what it
I
is.
think
Yeah.
if that's who I think you're thinking of.
It's KHA.
Yeah.
How old is Nikolai
He's a goaltender.
Kibababulin?
50.
46.
53.
Nice.
Chase
Nikolai Habibulin. I think
Habibulin.
That's how you say it.
How old is? He's in town tonight. Connor McDavid.
27.
29.
28. That's a push.
Dang.
Chaser, how old is? Sorry, Dr. Crane, you go now. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, the most awarded female actress ever.
63. I double check McDavid, please.
Why?
I think it's 29.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
My list got.
Well, we were chatting about it earlier on Jake's show. He's like, make sure you say 29.
Well, that's collusion.
That is
And
collusion.
he is 29.
It's public radio.
He is 29. Well, doesn't count. We're throwing it out.
Okay.
You
It was
just
a push, anyways.
no, it wasn't. You got it dead on.
Yeah,
You know what? Give it to him. I'm fine.
No, we're not doing. No,
it to
you
him.
said 28. No, what'd you say? 29.
I said 29.
He said
Sorry.
29.
All right, we'll give it to you. All
Give
right.
it to him. Hair Metal Henry says Dr. Crane hates wasting his time, and yet he sits there for 3 hours every day.
Something has to keep the lights on, man.
Now you got me questioning my list here. Make sure it's all accurate. We'll find out about Julie Louis-Dreyfus. Hold on.
I haven't said it.
Okay, this is accurate. So
What'd you say?
63.
62.
65. Dr. Crane's up 5-1, but there's an asterisk because he cheated. Dr. Crane, how old is? I once called him the Yao Ming of Sing, Trace Atkins. All 7'9" of him.
63.
67.
64.
Dang.
Dr. Crane's up 6-1 with an asterisk. Chaser, a guy that guy that you love, a lot. Patrick Dempsey, the actor.
Oh. Is that McDreamy?
It is.
Yeah. 59.
57.
60. It's now 6-2. Dr. Crane, Nicole Eggert. Wasn't she on Baywatch or Charles in Charge or one of those shows?
56.
Really attractive blonde-haired lady.
57.
54. So Dr. Crane's up 7-2. Chaser, actor Michael Pena.
I just watched a show with him.
Which one?
All Her Fault. It's on Peacock. It was really good.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's in that. He's
Yeah.
also in The Martian and a few other things.
Yeah. 53.
57.
50. Dr. Crane, Orlando Bloom, the actor.
40.
Orlando from the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
Yeah. 48.
49. So he's in striking distance. We'll finish this up real quick. Actor Keith Coogan was in Adventures in Babysitting.
Am I up?
You're up, Chaser.
64.
60.
56. Final one, Dr. Crane, GMA meteorologist Ginger Z.
53.
43.
45, but not enough. Dr. Crane wins 7-4 with an asterisk.
That is going to do it for us today.
As we leave every show, for our guys out there, we tell you all the time how much we love. If you are struggling, please reach out. Please talk to somebody. Talking to somebody saved my life. But listen, we're going to tell you every day how beautiful that you are, how wonderful that you are. And then when people think about you, people laugh, they smile, they love to see you. Please know that. When you tell me nobody's that way, yes, everybody's that way. You are so loved. People like to talk to you, hang out with you. Please know that. Know your journey sometimes rough and difficult, but it's a beautiful journey. It's your journey, and we're here for you. We love you, and more importantly, more than anything else on this world, God loves you.
Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll DVD coming your way next. Barry Trotz will join the show at 5 o'clock. We're back at it tomorrow.